Dawson Rider review.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for the Power Rangers Beast Morphers Red and Yellow Ranger pack-ins with the Beast Bots, hashtag justice for Beast Bots. They're kind of like armor figures where you actually take the Beast Bots and transform them into armor. Thus far we only have these two. Who knows if we'll get a blue one, maybe eventually. But that's kind of what they are. They're kind of weird because when you first see them, you almost think it's just a dual pack of the standard release figures for both of these things, but these are identical actually. Red and yellow are 99% identical to the regular retail release, so it's basically the same figure. However, these guys are different from the other release, so let me just take these out just for a second, and I'm going to do some brief comparisons. Here is the Jax you get with this set, and then you can tell it's different because its carrots are going the different way. That sounded oddly weird, but you can see there is a difference. This is the standard standalone release. It's a bit shorter, and it's a bit more detailed, you can see, and stuff like that. And this one obviously is going to have the features that come with transformation and stuff like that. And yeah. Then you have the two cruises. Obviously this is the one that comes with this, and then this is the standalone release, which looks honestly pretty decent, especially next to this, but it was very flimsy feeling, just this here. This almost feels more solid in a way, if not hollow. But yeah, they're not the same thing, so don't make the mistake I did when you first saw them and thinking they're just some sort of dual pack, which toy companies will often do, but this is a completely different thing, at least in the case of these guys. Now, as far as these guys go, like I said, they're basically the same exact figures, so if you're looking for something different, then you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place, but it's kind of a positive and a negative thing. Like, with Bandai, this could have gone one of two ways. Either these guys would have been a lesser figure that weren't very well painted and looked kind of poopy, and would have wound up being only something that looked kind of good if you put the armor or whatever on them, or they could have been a cool sort of variant, and that's kind of what I would have liked to see. Like, I get it. You're saving money, just reuse these guys again, but it would have been kind of cool to do some sort of variant to separate these, unless this is something that's actually going to be in the show, which I'm going to be honest, I kind of doubt, and they wanted to keep it accurate, but I don't think that'll happen. Oddly enough, I just reviewed RoboBlaze and said about the black and gold Cheetah Blaster that they haven't used anything in the toys yet that's not going to be in the show at some point, so who knows, you know, never say never with this stuff, because here we are reviewing Go Busters figures in 2020, but, you know, I just don't think that's going to happen, so it would have been nice to give something of a variety, unless you didn't pick these up in the first place, and you wanted a nice little bonus. But, you know, they're pretty well detailed, just like the first review I gave, you know, it's the same opinions, they're pretty well done for the price point. You might have little mess ups like that, like little QC issues, so definitely kind of keep an eye on it. Fortunately, I ordered these from Amazon, so I really had no choice. Same articulation, the sort of clicky joint here movement, the elbow joint, you have the nice leg joint here, knee joint, and then head articulation, pretty much the same for yellow here. The only note I really have about a difference is I have very loose leg joints on this one, which is really the first in any of the Beast Morphers figures I got. But for more detailed looks at them, you know, I'll link somewhere, probably multiple places in this review to, well, my original Beast Morphers figures review. So let's go ahead and do red first. Super easy and stuff like that for transforming. Just open this up. You fold these back. It almost seems like it's kind of got a clicky to it, and it almost feels like, oh, that's the wrong way, but no, just press through it. I mean, obviously not too hard, otherwise you don't want to break it, but that's the way it's supposed to go. And then you fold this back, and something that I think is kind of cool is the two little handles go right into these little notches, so that's kind of neat. It also kind of feels like that on a clicky. It almost feels like you're not supposed to do that, but you are. And then you can remove these at will, but they tend to come off a lot. I'm actually shocked they haven't come off and I haven't flown into a rage because for whatever reason, at least on mine, the pegs on these are like the worst and they will always be coming out and it's really annoying and I don't like that. But basically you just put it over him like a little jetpack. It honestly looks fine. Like it looks very last minute, like, guys, we need to come up with some sort of way this can combine, like, oh, okay, so, but I think there's something there. I mean, oddly enough, it kind of looks like some of the old, like, Lightspeed Battleizers and stuff, but if this was tweaked a little bit, it could be kind of something cool that's in the show and stuff like that, so, yeah, it's not bad, and, you know, it'll be something kind of fun. Now, for yellow, all you really do is you remove this. That's the only major thing you do besides unfolding it. You're basically just unfolding it and then folding these down to be like little legs, and it basically just becomes a little backpack. Like, this is so easy. It's really funny. Again, it seems like a very, like, oh, we need to fill a quota for a transforming figure, but we don't have the budget to do new stuff. So they like created this that can snap onto here so that like you don't have to do anything to this figure to make it different so it works with it. And then just put this here, oops, make it go right the way. Wait, there we go. And so you kind of have that, it's kind of like a jetpack. I think I like this one a little bit more because I kind of like the concept of it being like a helicopter pack. And then you have the wheels here and like it shows you like wheeling it along. So I think I dig that a little bit more, but both of them are kind of just like, okay. Again, it kind of feels like they wanted to come out with something, but they didn't have enough time or budget, and they just needed something quick. So they're like, okay, we already have all these extra figures. Let's just make these kind of quick B-spots that transform. We don't have to do anything to these figures to get them to work with it. So I would say these are just kind of okay. I can only really recommend them if you're a huge completionist, or, you know, they end up being in the show and you're that kind of completionist. Or the only other way is, again, if you haven't gotten these figures yet and you just kind of wanted something of a bonus, but they don't include everything the other figures did. Speaking of, both of them include some keys, like the yellow and red keys, that are basically look-wise pretty much identical to the ones you got with the original ones, but they do have some different sounds in the new Morphers and stuff, which I'll cut to now. Okay, new Morphers first. We'll start with red.
It's Morpher time! Okay, let's do this thing. Time to cruise in style. Rangers, power up. Okay, let's do this thing. Let's go.
That doesn't sound like him at all.
Cruise in style.
It's like a weird mix between, like, oh, this sounds like Devin, some random guy, and someone that sounds absolutely nothing like Kelson Henderson. Okay, now yellow.
It's Morpher time. Hey, you mess with the Yellow Ranger, you mess with me. I may be little, but I'm tough. Rangers, it's go time. Hey, you mess with the Yellow Ranger, you mess with me.
At least Jax kind of sounds like his. Now time for the old Morpher.
Okay, let's do this thing. Time to cruise in style. Okay, let's do this thing. Are you ready? Say it's morphin' time.
It's morphin' time. Alright. Now yellow.
I may be little, but I'm tough. Hey, you mess with the Yellow Ranger, you mess with me.
So you can see the
I
recycled
may
sounds.
be little, but I'm tough. Are you ready? Say it's morphin' time.
Didn't you hear me the first time? Yeah, so that's pretty much it for that. But yeah, overall, like I said, I can only recommend these if you're a huge completionist, or if you didn't get these yet and this is the way you feel like you want to get them. But otherwise, I think they're a pretty easy pass. They're nothing that spectacular, but nothing spectacularly awful either. Anyway, that's about it for this one. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get notifications from my videos. Till next time, Dawson Ryder, signing out.